All right, so right now I'm editing the audio for a cartoon that's on my main channel called Australian Diplomacy. I'll put a link to it in the description if you want to watch it. Before you watch this, let me know how it is, because I'm recording this in the past. It's not done yet, but I thought this was interesting, so maybe you will too. Okay, so I sent my animator Kellen the audio to this cartoon. He animated it and did a great job, sent it back to me, and now I'm lining it up for the first time with the project file. So I'm lining it up with the audio that I did beforehand. This screen track is what I sent him. So it's exactly the audio that's below it. There's a compressor on it, so that's why it looks a little bit different. But I promise you, this is just the same audio track, just stacked on top of itself. And when I play it, it sounds like this.
Oh no! If only I'd considered this!
Now, if I mute the one on top, it sounds like this.
Oh no! If only I'd considered this!
So, something here isn't making sense, right? This is the same audio track, yet if I play two of them on top of each other...
Oh no! If only I'd considered this!
Versus one...
Oh no! If only I'd considered this!
You see what I'm getting at? Two of them sounds like this.
Oh no! If only I'd considered this!
Kind of muffled.
Oh no! If only I'd considered this!
And one of them sounds like this.
Oh no! If only I'd considered this!
You'd think, right, because there's two of them, they'd get louder. That'd be kind of common sense. But this is actually something that's pretty common in audio called phase cancellation. And I thought that this was a good way to illustrate it. This is the exact same thing, right on top of itself. But if you look a little closer, it's not quite right on top of itself. So how that works is audio is a physical thing. It's represented really crudely as these squiggly lines that go up and down, but they are actual physical vibrations. And when they don't line up, or if they line up going opposite to each other, they actually end up canceling each other out. And if you'll notice, these are almost the same, but not quite. And they're almost perfectly lined up so that when the top one is down, the bottom one is up. You see that? So that's why it almost sounds quieter when you play two.
Oh no! If only I'd considered this!
As opposed to just playing one.
Oh no! If only I'd considered this!
If you want to see a real clear example of this in action, that sound is just one flat frequency, which means that these waves are evenly spaced out. See that? So if I play one, you know, it's that familiar bleep sound. But if I come over here, where I've lined two of them up so that they're perfectly out of phase with each other, it sounds like this. See that? It completely cancels it out. It's totally silent. And if you want to see that even more in action, if I take this fader, because these waves are counteracting the other waves only slightly at first and then growing to be the same volume, this should actually sound like a fade out instead of a fade in. So if you're wondering where this actually comes into play, it's not a whole lot. You've either got to be working with the same sounds or something really, really similar for it to actually happen. Either digitally, you don't line something up right, like I showed you here, or if you're recording in a live setting and you've got multiple microphones in different parts of the room, it can happen there. It happens with recording drums a lot. That's where this comes up the most. There's also a technique with drums where you put real drums over sampled drums. It can even happen there. This isn't like forbidden audio knowledge or anything. It's pretty basic, but I do think it's interesting, especially if you don't know a lot about audio, because we don't typically think about it as, you know, like a physical thing, but it is. Anyway, that's just one of my favorite little audio fun facts. If you thought it was annoying, now you can go out and annoy people with it. So you're welcome.